Hello and welcome to another exciting tournament matchup here in the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Summer Tournament of 2026. Our tonight's matchup is between Diabetes the Second and Cirno the Ice Fairy, the 1 and 2 ranked seeds from the Cole group. My name is Hoodie Two Shoes. Tonight with me in the commentary booth, Aaron 2U2. Aaron, how you feeling tonight? What do you think about this matchup and this starting situation we have?
Feeling good. This is going to be a very exciting matchup. We have Cirno, who has, he was our runner-up last year, and we have Diabetes, who was the runner-up in Winter League. So they're sort of you might think about the winners of the tournaments, but these guys both played really well. Diabetes prefers Standard, but has actually done a little bit better in Winter League here. I think he's going to try to break through this year. I would, honestly, I kind of feel like he might be my pick to win it all. Cirno, however, he's been fighting a bit of a hand issue, so he's had some issues playing the game, but I think he's got it now. And here we go.
All right, well, we're getting started off here. We've got 10 strength to start, so that's more than enough to get some early kills, depending on how we roll enemies. We've got a key to start in the first chest, and gold, so we have multiple keys now. And yeah, we'll have to see. I imagine they'll both go straight, pick up keys, and check the treasury.
Yeah, we're probably going to see, pop in and out, go get some gold, and then we're going to see the treasury check. So maybe we'll get an initial gold grind. Maybe we'll see a reset if something turns out to be particularly interesting in there to grind.
Yeah, definitely. And for anyone that might be newer watching, wondering why they went up and down the stairs back into the throne room, there is a chest glitch grind you can do in this game based on memory and chest slots. It's more than I want to explain right now, but it's important for them to load up those chests from the treasury, which is why they went. We've got a divergence here with Cirno checking the basement and DB2 heading back to the treasury.
Oh, we do see the grave down here. That's interesting. So there's even more options to potentially do some sort of crazy gold grind. But look at that. Cirno just right off the bat critting this. Oh my gosh. Okay, you know what? We're talking all this stuff now. And I believe Diabetes got the sword. We probably need to double check that because that was a glitch chest.
Yeah, he got the sword and then 2 herbs and I think wings. So 2 chests said sword. The first one was sword. The second one was sword. I imagine he got the sword there. He's carrying a sword, so I think that we're in there for that 40 attack power boost.
All right, that's good because I actually thought it said the token at first, so that explains everything. Now we know. A whole lot of stuff happening there right at the beginning. Cirno did get 1 ghost down, died to a golem at level 1. Pretty much no matter what your agility is at level 1, you're sitting duck to anything, and Diabetes meets the same fate. We'll see if he decides to go right back in.
And Cirno here getting some herbs grinded up. We'll pick up that sword shortly, and we'll have to see if there's anything that's going to get in the way. But oftentimes when you start with an item like the sword, we might have a north coast here as well. The seed might be, and there's Sharlock, so we'll see how fast this goes.
Yeah, very interesting because we know Cirno is a reverse count enjoyer. We don't know about Diabetes. I think he's done them before, but he's not a big connoisseur, so to speak. But those first couple of levels rolling in, a lot of double-digit numbers. Looks big, but again, that was a couple levels. And heal more being the big news.
Yeah, definitely know that Cirno has become a noted reverse enjoyer, and with a coast like that, pretty easy. We got 7, 4, 2, 14 for level 4 right off the bat, so with the sword able to take on some pretty good enemies, as we see Hawksness.
Yeah, I thought I saw a town over there, so I'm glad he went and checked so I wasn't hallucinating. He's just not getting any of the enemies that Diabetes is. Diabetes just feasting on warlocks and stuff, and Cirno's fighting slimes with Erdrick's sword.
Yeah, there are a number of ways that RNG can manifest in this game, and one of them is enemy distribution within zones. So we'll see. Cirno down here, maybe in the same zone. Let's see if he's going to get these, yes, now better encounters.
There we go. We do see level 5 on Diabetes' side with 1, 2, 5, and 9 with the hurt spell, which is probably not going to be used a whole lot.
are up to 41 total hit points here at level 5, which is it's not the highest, but it seems like they are progressing. You know, you could still be down in the 20s or at 30 at level 5. It makes it easier. The more HP you get, obviously, the easier it is to take fights. And with the addition of the sword, really HP and agility are the things that can bottleneck you once you get offense. Like, those are really the only things that can stop you.
Indeed. And yeah, Cirno just not getting lucky enough there against the Warlock getting taken out. Diabetes, however, is almost to level 6. And yeah, he's using herbs to stay alive here. He knows he is already fond of them. And since he has heal more, it's not like he needs them for exploration or anything, likely.
Yeah, and there were 2 herbs in the treasury, so even just going in and grabbing 2 for the cost of a key isn't that bad. For 19 strength, 5 agility, 1 HP, 20 MP there for level 6. So yeah, things are progressing here. Agility is still 30, HP 42, but at level 6, things are pretty well progressed.
Yeah, and yeah, this is moving real fast. This is the great zone. This Warlock seems like it has to be more than one, you know, out of the 5 options here, because it is popping up a lot, and being one, or really it's kind of just a one shot now almost automatically for Diabetes with that 94 AP.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if it's maybe just the sword doing a lot of work, not allowing the enemies as many chances for turns, but we haven't really seen any nasty abilities or spells or anything that is dangerous at all in this zone, so it's really just kind of like a dreamland to get these early levels.
Yeah, I would say of anything you can start out with, like even more so than hurt more, I think the sword is what probably the most like accelerating thing for a seed, right?
Yeah, because with hurt more, oftentimes you only have 1 cast of it early. You know, maybe you get up to 2 or 3, but with the sword, you can just take on these enemies so much easier. 40 is an enormous amount of extra attack power to get at the early stage.
Yeah, and it's also worth noting both of our runners here are very grind oriented. Diabetes, usually it's Diabetes, Ziggy, and Slamu, the 3 that are known for just kind of sitting down and grinding it out. Cirno tends to play that way a lot as well. So the fact that we're going to 7 here makes a lot of sense. We'll see if if the hit points go up, I wouldn't be surprised if he moves.
And we did get a little bit of a stat slowing there, but DB2 I think is going to head out a little bit. Once you get to 337, the next XP threshold for level 8 is 600 total. So you with the ability that you have, you might be thinking about looking for some more mid-game enemies. With this swamp, though, it looks kind of a one-way seed. You might just be stuck in that one zone for a while.
Yeah, I wonder if that was on purpose or not. It must have been, because he still has the herbs, and I don't think he wouldn't use them. But he's probably going to think about going back down to the grave now, because he did not get to see the chests.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. See if you can find the armor right away, too, just how fast this could be. Now, I'm not sure that I would classify this as the pants on fire situation, which is you feel a desperate need to find everything as soon as possible because you think that the go level is going to come. I don't think we're there, but this does tend on the very fast spectrum.
I don't actually know if Cirno got them all. I know he got 2, and I for some reason I think he died on the 3rd one, but maybe he did, and there was a lot of stuff happening, so I might have missed it. Okay, yeah, Cirno did, because he did have a cursed belt, and I don't think we saw one in the treasury. So cursed belt count is 1. 1 search spot will be active.
Looks like DB2 has plans on trying to dive. Looks like he had a wolf in that zone too, which is a pretty fantastic enemy to find.
Yeah, I wouldn't be like this is one of those dives where there's really 2 things going on here. You know, if he gets the items, good, that's great. But also, just being able to fight these things didn't really seem like he wanted to go through all that swamp before. So Cirno tries to push out a little bit and gets met with a Demon Knight, which he came pretty close to killing.
Yeah, I thought he had a chance there, but it just didn't take. Would have been really nice to get that 90 XP.
Yeah, Magic Wyvern here, excellent enemy. Probably see a heal more cast, or yeah, there we go. And that's the reason why you want to dive grave early right now is just to see if you can get some decent enemies. And Cirno finding another town over here, and it's Cole. Oh wow!
And that was very close to home. We saw Hawksness earlier. I was thinking maybe Cirno was going to check out the Hawks zone, but obviously you're going to check this out. We'll see what's in Cole. It's been accessible to both quite early.
And it has the token, so it didn't really miss out on anything not getting that to Cole. You might try to grind out for some armor here now and maybe a bit better zone. This might be the east zone. Oh, and we got a cave.
Yeah, I'll have to see what this cave is. Droll Magi is a great enemy to find. We'll see if there's other good mid-game enemies in this zone. Could be interesting. It's a desert, and if there's other good stuff, pretty good. It's right near home. You could just die and come back if you're interested in getting more XP.
Yeah, Diabetes did get to the 4th chest, I think. No, actually, I'm not sure that he did. If he did, it was probably just an herb, but he did end up taking a death to a Magiwyvern.
DB2 going south here. Let's see, it does continue. So he's going to miss out on Cole and this swamp cave for now, at least.
Considering what comes out of swamp, I'm not sure that he's missing a whole lot here. This looks pretty rough.
Yeah, yikes. And kind of what Artorias is thinking. I was having the same thought that our runners could potentially poke their head into Hawksness and see what the zone looks like if they're thinking about grinding, but I think it looks like both maybe have exploration more in the mind.
So yeah, we see on Diabetes' side that Droll Magi actually has heal more. He didn't proc it this time. It's a little bit unfortunate because right now their attack power feels like it's going to not one-shot them very often, but it's going to get pretty close, and that's going to make it a bit rough.
2 power, 5 agility, 1 HP. I think that was 2 MP. Looks like no spells. So levels are slowing down a little bit here as we progress. As we got a cave here on Diabetes' screen.
Yeah, all right. Staff of Rain Cave. Put a note on that. And you like to see those after you get the harp, but it's still pretty early. You're not too worried about it.
Another cave here for DB2. He's found Tablet, so if there's something good here that's of note, there is no outside spell, so he's going to have to walk out, and Cirno's going to walk into Brickonary.
Yay, it's Breck.
I see a silver shield and a broadsword, and don't think there was gold. There could be gold in the bottom of Grave, I guess.
Yeah, it's not super exciting. We did see the bottom tablet. Diabetes found our 2nd cursed belt. So now we know 2 of the overworld search spots are active. You generally don't use the cursed belts to, assume that they aren't active, but knowing that they are kind of gives you maybe a little bit more push well, in this case, it would be instead of typing deep grave, maybe you keep pushing around in the overworld, but yeah, we've already seen a little bit of deep.
And we've seen the token in Cole, so we know one of those belts is spoken for as DB2 comes into the Stones Cave and grabs a dragon scale. Does he equip? He equips. So we know guaranteed at least one of Hawksness or the Chords exist. Potentially both, but we're not sure. But we know at least one.
And oh hey, it's our friend the Red Dragon on Cirno's side. He decides to just slap it as he takes his exit. He wandered around quite a bit over here. I don't think we had a dead end, but I think everything east of North Swamp he saw.
Pretty good heat check, 22. That might be, maybe higher in the range, but still doing decent with the addition of the sword there. I mean, obviously they're not in a position to fight, but just seeing the attack power, it's always nice.
Yeah, we see that. The fairy water use with 24 defense power is very interesting to do that because, pretty much anything that's below that isn't really worth fighting anymore. But if you had more armor, you really wouldn't want to use repel because what the sword lets you do is kill enemies you should be fighting faster. You're generally not taking massive reaches on enemies with the sword because you're just going to get killed.
Yeah, for sure. And it looks like Cirno's going to settle into a little bit more of a grind here. And, it makes sense. He's pretty close to level 8. I do wonder if any of them are, longer term grind minded. If anyone will stick their head into Hawks just to see what the zone is. We had a metal slime in that zone for DB2, but it ran away immediately.
Yeah, I think Cirno saw one as well, and it had a very similar result, just bolted immediately. So, metal slimes can always, we talk about RNG and stuff in this game, and that's probably the single biggest RNG thing.
Yeah, it impacts most facets of this game. There's so much about this game that is fixed and known, and yet so much of it is just flies by the wind.
Yeah, it's something of a gambler's fantasy, because you know there's a bunch of RNG, but you can control a lot of stuff. So you are trying to constantly outsmart the computer, and sometimes the game is just gonna laugh at you. So,
well, the house always, no matter what, right? No matter where you are, the house always wins, and the game is the house.
Yeah, so we did see Sleep on the metal slime, who is running away, but is really just wasting Cirno's time here very efficiently. Even bothered to attack once at that point. It's sticking around, but yeah.
I do love when the enemies give us the Stone Man treatment, especially in Chaos Flags when the stats are randomized, when the Stone Men can actually run away. If they sleep and run away from you, it just feels so right.
Yeah, just seeing a Stone Man do that would be pretty funny. Well, we see Diabetes explore quite a bit. He's had to go through a lot of his heal mores, and he's almost out of MP now. But he has seen a lot of nothing going back and forth through Swamp.
Yeah, and not a lot of amazing fights along the way. That Magic Wyvern is pretty great, but for the most part, it hasn't been. Oh, we see a town, though, so we'll see if this, might end up paying dividends, the search for the exploration.
And it's Garanham, so this one's good. You got 3 items in the back. You get to heal up. Maybe, I guess he could buy some leather armor if he really wants to. And he does. Both of our runners are fully strapped with leathers today.
Hey, 4 extra defense is 4 extra defense. And if you still want to use the odd fairy water here and there, it's not going to make that big of a difference, like you said, in terms of keeping still the ones that you want. Maybe we're getting rid of warlocks now or something.
Yeah, considering where the hit points are, I know you might want better armor for the sake of being able to fight better things, but it's probably more useful, honestly, for the repel, just so you're not getting bogged down with a bunch of weak stuff. Because I don't think at 46 hit points, the type of armor you have is going to matter a whole lot.
And this Troll Magi is a pretty ideal enemy for Cirno here in the zone, as DB2 finds some gold. I'm not sure that there was a large shield or a half plate or anything available, though.
No, I think we had a bunch of extremes there again. And hey, there is our friend. He checks his item list, but unfortunately does not have the rainbow drop, or, the 3 items needed to turn in yet.
No access to sleep also puts a damper on some of the efficiency you can have with the sword in a seed like this, although a 2-shot on a rogue scorpion for 70 is pretty great for DB2.
Yeah, that was I think you can kill a Magic Wyvern easier than a rogue scorpion right now. So that was a little bit scary again for those who might wonder why. Rogue scorpions have the exact same defense as red dragons, so they're not the easiest things to smack down.
Yeah, and they have a decent amount of HP. Obviously it's hurt moreable every time, but when you're trying to play racing games, sometimes they have a little bit more than you would like, and you lose.
This focus on the grinding has Cirno in the experienced lead, and if you can get through this Droll Magi, we'll be about 1 kill short, I think, of the level. Or no, that's it. That's level 9.
And I think DB2 has still missed Cole with the token just east there. And I think it was also tablet, but I don't know if there was anything of extreme relevance in there. Another belt might be helpful.
Yeah, DB2 is the one who got the tablet cave, though.
Oh, sure. It was Swamp. It led to a weird place, right? That's right.
Swamp to Breck. And so, if you don't go right from swamp the entire game, you're probably just doing fine. That's a bit unfortunate. 37 agility, you are not a favorite to run away from Stone Man. No sleep. Not a whole lot you can do. Just hope for the best.
Yeah, and level 9 has 50 total agility, so and 50 HP. A little bit better for walking around. And another Droll Magi for Cirno. So these Droll Magi doing pretty well for Cirno.
Yeah, he's been churning out the experience over there. Rogue Scorpion. I might try to run from this one. This is I don't want to really get ambushed. And I don't think Diabeetus knows about this town. I think he might think that that town is Hawksness.
Oh, that could be problematic. Just because it's the token. And there's the 113.49 repel for level 9.
I'm sure he'll see it at some point because eventually he'll get both towns in frame and then he'll be like, wait.
Or he'll go back to Hawksness, or what he thinks is Hawksness, and realize it's Cole.
That'd be funny too. I'm going in. All right, we're gonna see what's in this Hawk Spike, and then it's just Cole. Like what? Getting flipped on yourselves.
BB2 deciding to head straight through, not going to check the spike, makes sense. We are not really equipped for anything that could be on the spike.
I'm curious, which way do you think the swamp caves are from one another? Do you think this swamp cave is to the west, then the second continent is to the west, or to the east?
You know, it's hard to know. I want to say that this is east, but I just, that's a guess. It's a coin flip for me.
It's really hard to tell because, well, actually, I don't know. If he gets all the way over here at the edge, maybe we can see. Because you think you would start to see, like, the starting area at some point if it were to the west, but it looks like it's just a bunch of water, so maybe not.
Well, I believe this is going to be Disappointment Central, and it is for Diabeetus.
Yeah, Breck is the place where nothing is great.
Hey, but you get a small shield, that's another 4 defense. And that's a red dragon for Cirno and an ambush to boot.
Yeah, he did pick up the large shield there, as Velevi put it, the large charge. Not gonna do a whole lot against the red dragon, though.
Yeah, you need HP to be able to think about red dragons, or they need to have a very high propensity for spell casting, and a low resist, and you need to be able to have stop spell.
Yeah, it's anytime you get a red dragon this early in like levels and stuff, there's something real crazy going on, and it's usually very exciting when it happens.
Wyvern, fantastic enemy for where they're at right now.
Yeah, they're both
Wyvern over here too. It does seem like there's a fair amount of gettable enemies on the map. Not all of them are safe, but like the things like the Wyvern, the Wolf Lord, even the Magic Wyvern, pretty great. Things like the Demon Knight and the Rogue Scorpion are gettable, but they're much less favorable. Oh, the Wolf Lord is a little bit low. He's got the teeth.
Yes, maybe the Wolf Lord is not pretty great. Sorry, it was just like right when you're saying that, and I could see the DL2 come out after the sleep. Full wombo on that boy. I'd be plenty happy to never see another Wolf Lord this seed.
Yeah, that's just kind of how it goes. There he goes. DB2 sees them both, as you said, does not go in. There it is. Okay.
While he is in Cole, Cirno is picking up level 10 with a 1-1-1-13 and Hurt More. There you go. Hurt More does open up things a little bit. The stats are still kind of annoyingly low, but you can kill a lot of stuff, and I think he's going straight to Hawksness.
Yeah, I think so. And then I wouldn't be surprised if this isn't like a grindable enemy, if he will go straight to Swamp after to see if there's like an Axe Knight or something there.
Yeah, when you have this many tools, you really just need to get some hit points. And we have a Golem, which I think falls into the not really fightable category.
Yeah, so I bet right here we're going to see a beeline. I would bet this is a beeline to the Swamp Spike.
Yeah, well, he might stop in coal to heal up, but yeah, he's gonna do something like that. He probably could heal right now. Yeah, there you go.
So DB2 about 400 XP behind, about 300 XP away, soon to be less from Hurtmore.
Yeah, the time between Hurtmores tends to be a solid indicator of how the race is going for the runners, generally speaking, because the experience tends to accelerate dramatically once you get Hurtmore. Now with the sword, I don't know if it's going to change that much, but if anything, it's probably going to push Diabetes into doing exactly what Cirno is doing now.
Yeah, it's really going to depend on if there's like a sweet Hurtmoreable grind in the swamp cave that's not miserable, because then that can get you some HP, and then things go a lot better.
The only time you really don't, I think, and you can correct me on this, the only time I think you don't really like focus in on spikes to check, post Hurtmore is when you have like the armor already. And there's not going to be any real rush because the armor is the one thing that makes the exploration so much better. Until you have, well, I mean, post armor, pre armor is huge.
Oh man, flute lovers rejoice. This is the seed for the flute inclined. We have 2 golems, both spikes.
Is that true, chat? The golems have sleep? I didn't notice.
Well, Hurtmore does make a short work of that armored knight, which is fantastic. But as of right now, there's not really a spike advantage for having the Hurtmore early. But again, it still makes things a little bit faster. As Cirno's going to head out west from the swamp this time.
Diabetes running into his first red dragon, and hey, look, it was the west after all.
So we got the info now. I feel like it's probably pretty safe to assume Tantagel is maybe centrally located. It's definitely not, it's not westwardly located. It's central to east in terms of positioning for Tantagel.
Yeah, which makes where Cirno is kind of interesting because we haven't seen. I think we went kind of a way south, but I'm not sure if there's too many paths that we haven't seen between the 2 runners. So it might just be that everything else is beyond where he is.
Looks like DB2 is into the Hawksness zone. Doesn't have Hurtmore yet, so I imagine this is just strictly 2 grind, and finds the Rogue Scorpion. Not a bad enemy to hang out with.
And Cirno finding a pretty good zone himself, which is possibly the same zone. If we see a Magiwyvern on Diabetes' side, then I'd be pretty certain, because he's seen Magiwyverns and rogues while he's been repelling.
We got level 11 here for Cirno. It's going to come with 6 strength, 5 agility, 8 hit points, 4 MP, and the spell of outside.
And while that happens, Diabetes is getting his level and his Hurtmore spell, so we'll see him almost certainly rush right into the disappointment that is that spike.
Yeah, I anticipate him checking the other. He's seen Swamp. Yeah, I anticipate him checking the other spike and running from that golem as well.
And Cirno finds all the dead ends over here, so there's just nothing on. I mean, if you don't count Breck as anything, there's just nothing over here. Maybe the search spot will be over here, but otherwise, it's just the northwest corner of the map is kind of.
Yeah, and DB2 saw Garenhem, and so we're missing a potential rim. Oh, there's definitely a rim item. We're missing a rim item. We are missing the mountain cave, but I think we've seen stones and tablet, so I think it's mostly just rim, mountain, and then the 2 potential searches in Hawksness and the coordinates that we are on the stream unaware of.
I don't think we saw the 5th chest in Grave, right?
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, so they're still Grave as well as potential.
I always wonder where people's kind of balance point is for looking for that or not, because I would think with just 2 items and one of the search spots that, Deep Grave at this point isn't the worst thing, but you're also just probably going to end up getting killed at some point. I would say until you get the Silver Harp, which, with that cave being kind of close to start, if I recall right, there's no real huge rush to dive Deep Grave, but I wouldn't be surprised if like Cirno right now does it after he dies here.
Yeah, or if you find Mountain Cave, then like that's going to give you a lot of info. Like Mountain Cave holds a lot of info, because if there's not a single key item in Mountain Cave, like that tells you a whole lot. Or, if there are 1 or 2 or, 0, like it's really enlightening.
There is something to say about just surviving this overworld. We've seen reds in a few different pockets, which are not great. Not anything you can really do with them right now. And a lot of swamp in between, which is pretty annoying. It's not, like instant death because we got the heal more, but it is drains the MP a little bit. So it does potentially limit the exploration, especially because, again, we've seen about half the towns already, and they're all kind of either in dumb places or close to start.
As we see Diabetes try to run first attempt from the Armored Knight, but could have tried the 2 Hurtmores to get the XP there, but gonna get sent home. We'll see what his choice is here from the start.
Did he check the spike there in Swamp? Because he might go straight back if he has. I know he went through and kind of looked around. He probably did. Almost certainly did. Yeah, so there is really only one path out of here. That entire southwest area is just a straight dead end.
Oh, we found an Axe Knight zone. That is something to keep in mind, at least for now, with low HP and not golem killing capabilities. Stone Man kind of pollutes the... it's kind of like, it pollutes the zone.
Yeah, he went from, oh, cool, to, oh, never mind, really quick.
HP is like the real thing that you want in the seed, because like you said, there's red dragons and a lot of swamp, and HP is at this point, especially with what they already have, it's the real big difference maker for both of those things. Like big swamp doesn't matter as much if you have big HPs. We get level 12 here for Cirno. 4195.
Yeah, 9's pretty good. There's the general thought that, if it's not double digits, it's probably not great, but 9 is pretty close to double digits, right?
Yeah, 9 is it's a relevant boost, no matter what. Like, of course you want the huge gains, but 9 is it's a significant gain. So Cirno at 57 agility was able to get away from that red dragon and takes down a Star Wyvern.
Yeah, Star Wyvern with stop spell, that, as long as it doesn't hit you before you land the Hurtmore, that's pretty good.
Again, it's this it's not the lowest HP you could have. It's definitely way better at 68 than 51, but you're playing the game of if you're going to try to take on some more dangerous enemies, you cannot be ambushed or miss your attack.
Now, this grind here by Cirno is interesting because he does not have the MP to clear it. And hey, Diabetes has found Mountain Cave. I think it was near the southeast corner.
Yeah, and this is going to provide a lot of intelligence for us here on the stream. I think it'll provide DB too. I don't know if there's anything that Cirno has seen that he hasn't. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't know if Diabetes has found the Staff of Rain Cave, which I think Cirno found already. Is that correct? That's the only thing that pops into my mind. It's just nonstop golems for Diabetes here. Just keeps running into them.
There's a key. Flute would actually not be the word. Like, you could fight a golem with a flute, I think, pretty reasonably. And there it is.
Could be good. Again, I think he's already seen the sleep on the golem, so I'm not sure he's going to rush back to it. It's not like we have stop spell yet, and that's been a bit of an issue. The golems, it must be 25% though, because they're not using it a whole lot.
And he's going to flute here, but this might just be to run away and heal to get the, guarantee that you have a chance to make it to the chest. Yeah.
And Total Immoral in chat asking, when is Diabetes supposed to go to Gateway 5? I would, in my opinion, it'd be the last thing that I do. So it's one chest and it's a ton of effort to get to. And there's just more interesting things to do, I think, right now.
This time, full HP DB2 goes for the flute, and he's going to swing.
Yeah, he has got every chest out of here, so I wouldn't quite go as far as saying that this is free, but you know, if you die or whatever, it doesn't really matter because there's some good exploration here. But that's a ton of experience, and he's been struggling a little bit with it, and he gets it. It stayed asleep.
Yeah, that's huge. He's going to get some, not a whole lot, but just some extra HP here. And 8, actually 8 is pretty great. Yeah, so 8 into 9 next level. Pretty helpful. We'll see if he's going to think about trying to go do the Hawk Spike now. Looks like no, not yet.
Yeah, he's gotten a ways away from it. I think getting back here just takes quite a bit of time. The map position is probably more important right now.
And so that narrows things down a lot. So it's Rim Chest, Grave 5, and then the 2 potential, we know one for sure is populated, but 2 potential search spots for a number of remaining items as Cirno picks up level 13, which is 9 strength, 19 agility, 12 HP, 2 MP, and heal and sleep and stop spell. A huge, huge level.
Yeah, and he got those wings. He's going right back. I wouldn't be surprised to see if he goes directly into Hawk's Nest now. The defense is still pretty bad, but maybe he's got enough to buy something. I just don't think we've seen any good armor yet. So anything you could buy, it always seems like it's like leather armor to magic armor.
Yeah, he does have stop spell now though, so he at least can avoid the sleep without, you know, the flute, and should be in pretty good shape to take down this golem, no problem.
Indeed, this wizard fight is pretty fun too, because again, 106 attack power, that is gettable, but it's wizards can be they can hit a little harder than you would think. Sometimes you can kind of overlook that they are still a Sharlock enemy, even if they're kind of the weakest one.
Looks like Cirno is going to bypass Hawk's Nest for now and continue in the southward direction instead.
And Diabetes is within range of a town. He's on, that was his last heal more. I think he still has a couple of herbs, but oh, both of our remaining towns are right here.
Oh, well, that's great. That's going to give him the chest knowledge, and then he knows where Grave is, so he can do that if and when he needs to. But these search spikes, search tiles are going to be, oh, stones. Very important.
Yeah, definitely happy to see that. Any key item that is not on one of those search spots is great because it just increases the chances of armor not being in Sharlock. You know, a couple of years ago, we had the flag to prohibit armor from being in Sharlock. And this year, it feels like it's been in there a lot.
It does feel that way, yes. It has that feel. Cirno back into the staff trade-in.
Diabetes not buying the chainmail. He's preferring to keep the leathers. I slightly surprised at that.
Looks like he's going to go after this golem as well. I'm not sure if he knows. Well, he doesn't have stop spell, so we can't really know for sure. But I don't know if he's seen the sleep or not.
Well, he was the one I thought had seen it. So, could we pop that one up on the tracker just to confirm that it does have sleep? All right, yeah, 25%. So he's, thank you, tracker. He's taken a little bit of a risk here right next to a town. I'm not sure that I would do this, but it is a level. The golem took so long to cast sleep again that I began doubting everyone.
There it is.
But he gets up.
Awakes. That is a huge roll.
Perhaps race defining. I mean, Caitlin might not have anything. It might be a completely pointless check, but it would hurt so much to have to come all the way back down when you're right next to it,
and to lose out on 350 XP, like the double whammy. We get.
That's why, especially when that fight took so long, because it was not a quick one.
Well, let's see if we get a copper. No, don't do that. Okay, yeah. We avoid the copper sword purchase.
Yeah, he's just having some fun over there. And he could get it back pretty quickly too. Doesn't buy the half play. Very interesting. He's avoiding buying any armor.
I wonder if he's looking only for the shield, or if maybe he's... Yeah, because he doesn't have money for full plate.
The large was in Garenham, is that right?
Has Cirno been in Garenham?
No. I meant to say Breck. So maybe Breck has a purpose. Look at those coordinates. 75 south, 80 to the west. That has to just about be in the corner as far as the west count goes. Like right on the border.
Bulging eyes emoji for reverse count enjoyers.
Yeah, and the 75 would be what? 44 off the coast?
That is correct.
I'll say, or 45, depending on how you count it. I think everyone counts it the way that I count it. Oh.
It's 44 for me. I use 119, so.
Yeah, I think for a while Beta used the 120s and it kept getting messed up and switched.
Map is 120 by 120.
Yep, so when we say 119, it's because we usually count moving away from the coast, so it's counting the steps. So you don't count the actual coast itself. Because if you do count the coast, then you have to count Tantagel, and then it gets kind of confusing. At least it is for me.
Just use 119. It's the way to be.
Also worth noting, Diabetes did not buy any more keys, even after he'd opened the door there in Cantlin. I think he is just putting the foot like firmly on the gas here.
And we're here in Hawksness taking on the Golem. There's still a world where both of these search spy spots are populated and the armor is in Charlock. We get the harp in Hawksness.
There we go. So straight back. He looks like he's gonna probably just fight here until he gets randomly killed, which kind of makes sense because again, it's a bunch of experience, and he's been getting kind of messed around with a little bit in the overworld. Although his exploration is leagues ahead of Cirno's by now.
Cirno is into Garenham here. Gonna rest and check out the back. We know that there's not really anything of extreme value in here.
He does bug the antisocial girl there in the back. I think he has called her his waifu.
I can neither confirm nor deny. I have no comment.
I also have to admit that every single time I've ever said the word waifu, I've immediately regretted it.
So, what's your scouting report on Diabetes and reverse counting? Is he getting the princess? Is he counting? You think he'll try reverse?
I'm not sure. I know he can do it. I think if he has some good knowledge of the area, he might try to do it. But also the princess is pretty close here, and it is a long walk. And I think when it comes to these sorts of things, there's a greater potential for disaster than there is for success. So my guess is that he's going to get the princess.
Yeah, that seems like a fair assessment. You can also get some more sweet, juicy Golem XP. I was going to say Gone Man. That's not it. It's Golem. Sweet, juicy Golem XP from the spike there as well.
Squeezing XP from the rock. Interesting to stay at 42 hit points. If that thing wakes up, it could punch him to death in one hit.
He's riding the razors. He's riding the lightning tonight.
And there's his level 13 with all of the spells and a whole lot of stats. One of the things that's kind of funny about Diabetes that I think, because he's known to be kind of like a heavy grinder and sometimes he's a little bit late to go, not frequently, but sometimes he will end up just taking 3 extra levels, and it's somewhat confusing, which is honestly something that Cirno does sometimes too. But he gambles a whole lot, especially inside of Sharlock. I'm not sure I've seen anyone beat the Dragon Lord as many times as Diabetes has, and swung on like a 28 and get hit for 27 and then win on the next hit.
Well, we're here for excitement in this summer tournament, and this race so far is not disappointing. A little bit of an XP lead here for Cirno, but DB2 is on this golem and will be catching up and surpassing unless Cirno makes some quick work of the exploration he's on and gets to a similar place of 350 XP nuggets.
Yeah, and he's he's already been back here before, so he's gold grinding for magic armor. Is that what that is? That is fun, especially if armor's in Sharlock, then that's gonna almost certainly pay off. If it's not, I don't know. It's still kind of a fun thing to do.
Yeah, and he's gonna pick it up right there. And magic armor, great. Hurt resist, always helpful. 1 extra HP every 4 steps, always helpful.
Yeah, it lets you go through some swamp and not get, super worried about it. And I think, wow, so Garenham is that close to Rim and Cantlin? I'm pretty sure Diabetes found it. He took the long way around.
Yeah, he was in Garenham fairly early.
Yeah, it's just south. Just, a screen and a half. That was it. Wow.
Well, Cirno about to pick up the Stones of Sunlight here from this chest.
And we'll see what Cirno decides to do, because if he sees those coordinates, Cantlin is a ways west. It's not like, I don't think it's against the coast, but he might immediately try to do the reverse out of Cantlin. That was the thing with Diabetes that makes me think he's getting the princess, is that I think if he was going to do the reverse, he probably would have just stayed down there.
Yeah, I think that that's a very, very good point. Cirno going to top up on some keys, and then we'll see. Yeah, he is a noted reverse enjoyer, so we will see if he takes that up right after getting the chords. Oh, we had a hurt more, no effect, into a stop spell, no effect on Cirno's side.
I was laughing and I didn't want to hit the button to talk while I was laughing because of that. He's going to get 14. Diabetes is also getting 14. Just a slight experience lead.
11, 1, 17, 20. That is a heck of a level. I'm not sure. Let's take a look here. They're at 130 attack power with 97 and 14 heal mores.
That's winnable. That is now the pants are on fire. I'm not sure you want to go at this. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if both of them end up taking an extra level, but that is winnable.
Definitely, I think the armor is going to be a huge turning point, flexion point, whether you're going to go on these stats or if you're looking for more. Because with the armor, I think that there's a choice to be made, but without, I think you're absolutely who wants to try that?
Yeah, the extended length there, I think Cirno is doing some math. Oh, he took the death. He might be going directly for the princess. Then again, I think if you're not doing that, you would try to count it from exactly where you were.
Yeah, he also hasn't done the golem yet in Hawksness, so I wonder if maybe that's just go back, kill the golem, get the item, go kill some more golems, get the princess, kind of a thing.
Yeah, if this is what we're doing, then you kind of put Diabetes in the lead here, because Cirno is going to end up doing exactly what he's doing, and already is slightly behind in the experience and slightly behind in the progression.
Well, we've got dueling golems here. DB2 still going with the flutes, and it looks like Cirno's just going to swing and heal more. I'm not sure if Cirno knows about the sleep or not. It is 25%.
I mean, if you know about the sleep, I don't think you just swing on this guy. It's too dangerous. So, I mean, it's definitely faster to swing on him, of course, than to do that. But with 97 max hit points, if you fall asleep, you could be dead, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I think that if you're going to play the no flute strats, you play the stop spell strats, unless it has, maximum resist. Cirno takes it down, going to pick up the silver harp.
He's got his harp, and yeah, we'll see if he goes directly to the golem then and to rescue it, which I'm not going to rag on anybody in the tournament for rescuing the princess, even if you're somebody who normally does a reverse, but that's not what he is doing. He's going to turn in the harp, because I think the harp trade was down here, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm not sure if DB2 knows where the harp trade is or not, but we know that Cirno does.
Well, the way he's moving might indicate that he does, but I think this is like the only way to go, right? So.
And then was it Garenhem that had the rainbow drop? I can't remember.
I believe so.
Yeah, if it's just right there across that bridge, they probably both know where it is.
Then it makes me wonder now if he's not getting the princess, if he is trying to do the reverse. Maybe he didn't have anything set up, because when he did warp back and he looked at Tantagel, he paused for a little bit there. So yeah, they both know where it is. And again, it's just going to come down to if Cirno is going to do this and he's able to do it in an efficient way, then we have a dogfight. If not, I expect Diabetes to be rolling here. One lingering thing that might matter is that Diabetes has had an aversion to upgrading his armor for a while, and it might matter. The fact that he's not trying to fight the Armor Knight is a bit surprising. I think he just wants to go on 14, but I think at this point, when you have 97 max hit points, you still fight good fights, or things like this, which are not necessarily a good fight, but potentially faster to fight than not.
Yeah, for sure. If it's just a couple of hurt mores, you got 100 MP, and you're just kind of wandering around, it makes sense to potentially still be getting that kind of XP.
Yeah.
The real question is this the death necklace or is it the armor? Because if it's the death necklace, that changes things.
Yeah, that's where Cirno's magic armor actually matters. If it's the armor, then it just kind of feels like that was a bit of a wasted effort. Yeah, the way he's moving this, unless he's trying to find Mountain Cave, which I can't remember if he's actually found or not. Oh, hey, he gets to see the sleep.
Maybe he's hoping for Mountain as a byproduct, but I would imagine with knowledge that the coordinates are 50% armor, probably prioritizing that. DB2 going to get some more keys. I'm not sure if he's out or just low, but going to get him here in Rim.
Yeah, he actually used his last key getting the princess, so he was out, and now he's back in.
Well, that's convenient that Rim is just on the way to the coordinates anyway. Otherwise, if the armor did roll in Charlock, it could be a little bit of a time loss.
An interesting routing decision here, too. Cirno going to Garenham. Diabetes does not know, I think, that they are so close. So Cirno is going to pop in and get the drop and then come down and try to figure out this coordinate nonsense.
Yeah, that is a nice efficiency, getting the rainbow drop on the way.
So it's going to come down to if he can see the coast here, because where this is going to be a little bit awkward. It is going to take him a bit longer to do than it is for Diabetes. Because, oh, well, you know what? He just got to see Garenham, so there you go.
Well, that answers that question. It's just going to be a matter of what does this west area look like you said, because you would like to see both coasts if you could, but you really want to see the bottom coast, I would say.
Yeah, well, he doesn't know the south offset, or the west offset, I don't think. And hey, it's right on the coast. So if he decides to just start on the coast, well, you know what? It's the death necklace, so it's going to be a matter of how long it's going to take him, and he can't see the bottom. Oh no.
So this puts Grave 5 back in play as our only outside of Sharlock check, and with it being the armor, I mean, you could, if you're thinking about maybe getting some XP, I don't know, but I don't, with a leather armor, large shield, I think that you're probably diving Grave instead of diving Sharlock. I don't know. What are you doing, Aaron?
When it's armor, I always check everything because the just if it's sword, I'm more willing to dive because there's scenarios where you can win without it. But armor is, I unless I have absolutely no idea. But even then, I'm usually more likely to explore it. Hey, Cirno finds Mountain Cave, the gigantic waste of time.
He sure does, but at least it's going to tick those boxes off because, like you said, it's the armor that you're questioning. So you gotta look. And Mountain is a huge glaring hole in your check knowledge, so it has to be done.
That's a good point. He does have the flute. I completely forgot that Cirno didn't have it. Sure, that's not going to change a whole lot for him. Of course, if that's what's in the final spike, if we get the triple golem spikes for the seed, that could matter. But let's just hope it doesn't. I'm always rooting for the players to not have to endure torture because I just assume chat is rooting for it.
It's likely enough as it is. And DB2 going to go back and get that rainbow drop for himself, and then likely to see a grave dive, but we'll see what he actually chooses to do.
And yeah, Judge Joe mentioning in chat, we do not have return. So having the wings would be very useful. And yeah, there is no easy access to the south border here. So Cirno is either going to walk that one out or he's just going to forget about it. I don't know. I've seen people bail on Counts and Cantlin to try to deal with Sharlock, and I don't think that has paid off for anyone yet.
Oh, there's a death warp for Diabetes. Grave was pretty close to home, so imagine that's likely what we're seeing here. Although so was Sharlock, so.
Yeah, it makes sense, I think, to do it, especially if it's this close. You just kind of have to. It's one thing if Grave is in, like where Mountain was, or just in the absolute. He tried to return back and he can't. Oh, yeah. So anyway, as I was saying, it just matters on where it is, and this is way too close to ignore. I think even. Sorry, I would think I would even dive this one for sword just because it's right there.
Yeah, for sure. And Cirno is notably still getting XP, so looks like level 15 is on the plans.
If this winds up being an extraordinarily difficult Sharlock, and 15 is something that helps, this will work out for him, but otherwise it's just Diabetes kind of pushing forward right now and everything. And yeah, and if he's going to get Axe Knights, you just kill Axe Knights. You don't... if the game's like, here, eat this, you just eat it.
Yeah, for sure. DB2, very unlikely to be stopped on the way to this chest, so very good odds for us to get to see if we're playing the Sharlock game or not.
I'll not repost the Gwaelin emote because honestly, you can't do the Southern reverse count here. It's just set up very unfortunate and this is probably the smartest thing to do. Oh, buddy.
That was it.
The whole time, either of our runners just decided to do Deep Grave, and they would have the armor, and everything Cirno is doing now would not be necessary.
Yeah, that's none of the princess getting or coordinates searching is relevant at all with the HP the way that it is, and the simple dive. Diver wins the race.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a little bit of an oh-no. We see level 15 is 4-4-1-4. Not a lot of hit points, but that extra attack power. The MP gets you another heal more. It really does make 15 a huge go now. So Diabetes is starting in, entering Sharlock 58-15. And we'll see if he's able to get this.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got the level where he can win. He's got the armor, and he's going to try to win.
And I can mention there is one other thing that can help his odds here. The fighter's ring is still outstanding, and this armor knight is just stubborn.
Gonna use the herb. You hate to use it so early, but I would consider fluting, and he's gonna flute. Yeah, it just makes too much. Just guarantee yourself not taking a bunch of damage, and you can heal walk some more.
Yeah, so we've seen armor knight and golem. Neither are great things. Golem, ambush, attack. It's not asleep, but that is still some nasty damage.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. 77 agility is not in the 80s, but it's still enough to feel bad about getting ambushed by the golem.
And he is herbing, but he's herbing rather lightly. There are towns nearby, so this isn't a situation where you're going to eat an insane amount of time if you end up dying and having to get herbs back. But you hate using them this early.
Yeah, especially with the maximum HP being so low. You're really going to want to try to get into the fight with as much as you can.
And EMP, thank you very much for the raid. You're entering into our first Sharlock dive. Diabetes coming down. Just got the armor. Immediately into Sharlock.
So you did mention the fighter's ring. What do you think? DB2, you think he's going to get it? Well, if he's going to get a level, he's probably not going to get it. But
yeah, it's an interesting scenario because if you lose a heal more, I think you're more likely to get it because at least by my numbers, 132 is one less swing than 130. So it's like, okay, I'm getting my heal more back sort of logic.
And it looks like Diabetes has made the choice to swing on the likes of Wizard and Werewolf, your W Sharlock enemies so far.
Yeah, I don't know if I like the Werewolf because, again, if you're not defense breaking these guys, they still do hit pretty hard, but as long as he's able to keep the hit points up, it will be somewhat disappointed by the extra heal more isn't going to do anything for him, but 4 extra attack power is at least 1 full swing. It's probably almost 2.
Oh boy. And this will be a heal more spent for Diabetes here.
And it's still not okay, he gets away now. He's down to 2 herbs. He's lost 1 heal more. My numbers at 130 say that on average he does 163 damage with the now 1 less swing. So it's an interesting scenario. I think he's going to try to squeeze out the level on the wizards and stuff. I don't know how I feel about that because it's still damage you're eating that you might be lower when you fight the reds, but that's the decision he's made. And as I said before, Diabetes is actually very aggressive when it comes to like the moment he steps in the Sharlock.
Going for the green.
And meanwhile, Cirno has entered Grave, so he's going deep, and hopefully, on his sake, he's going to be able to get it. Did not heal up beforehand, though. Really trying to rush this one.
Yeah, only 31 MP.
All right, so we saw an AK-47 down here, so it's not exactly safe. That might also be a decision whether or not you try for the fighter's ring.
Pretty much every enemy except the green dragon is going to give DB2 the level here on the spike, so I would be hard-pressed to think that he's going to fight anything else except the spike. Unless it is a green, then he'll probably fight something else.
So we get an encounter right when he would make the decision. There we go. So he is skipping it. Again, the level is going to give 4 attack power. The 1 extra hit point isn't going to matter at all. Well, actually, it does kind of matter when it's that low. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff to think about with this. But this is nothing is guaranteed yet, and this is very nervous.
Well, he's definitely guaranteed to get the level no matter what the spike is now.
Indeed, he decided to take out the Axe Knight. So, what are we hoping for on the spike? What are we not hoping for on the spike?
I don't know that anything has been particularly. The worst thing that could happen, I guess, is an ambush golem that hits you several times in a row, right?
Yeah, he does have the extra MP to throw out a stop spell, and this Armor Knight is not letting him go. Oh, no. All right, so he's using
heal to spare.
Yeah, he decided to use that for the heal. Probably necessary. Yeah, if we get any of the weaker ones, fine. But Blue Dragon might drain the resources enough. Obviously, either red enemy is no good. The Axe Knight would probably be great. Stone Man, now that you've used that MP, is not great.
There's like 3 encounters on 3 tiles in a row here for Diabetes.
Yeah, this is just awful. I mean, there's desert, sure, but you just, I don't know. He had some, this might be a little bit of a rubber band because he had a somewhat easier path through kind of like the middle of Sharlock, but this is brutal, man.
Can't be feeling good about this.
Yeah, if this does not work out, Cirno is in, and he does have more resources. It is a green dragon, one of the best enemies you could have seen here.
And the 4 attack power is going to be quite relevant. Going from 130 to 134 is a pretty nice boost.
Yeah, all things equal, that would put him at pretty solid odds to win. However, the problem is that his hit points are not going to be very high going in here. We might see a heal walk. Diabetes has done that before. He's done it a lot.
Oh god, man. This game is just relentless in its brutality.
Oh, he's going in. He's probably expecting to use that one heal more, but here we go. First Dragon Lord conversation. First Dragon Lord fight. And it's terrible to have to lose a heal more here, but the fact that he did it, you know, it was going to be a lot of wasted MP, so you might as well just do it in here instead of before the fight.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 shots is going to go into DL2 here.
Opening ambush with the breath, immediate heal more. Now he's going to need some good rolls because he is behind the 8 ball. And he's rolling 8-17, so starting out with an 8 is not good.
The 18 there. Up to 31.
Yeah, my apologies. I can't count for anything. I always lose track.
39. These 8s are going to need to be offset by some 17s.
Yeah, and there's the hurt more. He's throwing them early. I think he knows that this had gone down the crapper. He's throwing another hurt more. It did not land, and he is out.
All right. Well, that is going to send Diabetes back to the castle to try to start again. As Cirno is in great position here to take it down with 15 heal mores remaining.
And he's trying to get away. He's getting the same treatment here from the Armored Knights. Is able to get away and just throws out the heal more. I don't even know if he's used herbs or anything yet. I think he just decided, because again, he has a bit of a buffer right now. At 134, again, you're expecting 14 swings, and he still has 14 heal more. So he's still in the lead, so to speak.
DB2, glad to have keys, goes and uses the key to get through the door to save some time to get to the coal shop to buy some more herbs. So Cirno is trying to round the corner here on the bottom of Sharlock.
We'll see. Here comes the flute. I was like, when he didn't use it, I don't know, man. You got to save time. You got to think about, you don't want to lose a race because you're just fluting golems in the basement, but that was tight. And yeah, he has exhausted a number of herbs. He's still staying pretty low on the hit points. And I think this whole Sharlock has kind of what you would consider to be a normal allotment of red enemies. I think on odds, you'll see 3 different. You should see 3 out of the 15 slots should be a red dragon or AK-47. But the agility, I think, has just been annoying enough that they've been getting blocked a little bit more than you would like.
Yeah, and I would say that I would be, in this particular race, more worried about a golem sleeping and killing me than me losing the race because I did the flute.
There we see the other herb again. We do know this is a green dragon. He's going to get a couple of hits, but it's not something that should cost him a heal more unless he can't get into there with max hit points. And now he's getting the same treatment down here on the back end, just non-stop enemies.
Gets the green dragon, and that is a friendly face. Does 37, has a decent chance to just take it down here, and does.
Yep, there it goes. We got the final steps to the Dragon Lord. He gets there safely. He's going to be a great favorite to win this.
Yeah, I think that we're in statistical anomaly or mismenu territory here.
Yeah, it's not overwhelming. He can get some bad rolls, and it is worth noting that his defense will let him get hit for 50, which is over half.
Looks like Diabetes is sent packing, and that was 14 to start for us. $29.
He got 2 extremely weak hits, almost double territory.
We're looking at 44.
Rolling above average so far.
54.
Yeah, with this max hit points, you're only worried about like that right there, and it looks like he is going to double up.
$65.
Yeah, before it was a bad heal more and then just a 48 breath, and they said he had a little bit of room to spare, so that made sense.
74.
I don't want to see those single digits.
$89.
All right, again, I think he is on pace now. Again, it's just don't lose any more heal mores.
That is 100 damage done.
Exact. Yeah, get your 100s out in chat like it's 2015.
It's 111.
And that was a risky swing. This heal more is good.
122. $133.
Okay, great shape again, as long as we do not lose the heal mores. And there we go, another good strong one.
143. $151.
Just gonna min roll here at the end, add a whole bunch of drama. That was not a good heal more. Uh-oh.
163 is guaranteed to win.
All right, GG's to Cirno. It just, the drama just ratcheted up right there at the end. Again, he could have gotten hit for 50. It would have been something like a 1 in 100 chance, but we know how this is. But yeah, GG's to Cirno. He played a lot more grind focused, honestly, early on than Diabetes was. Didn't get the exploration as quickly. Diabetes really pushed out into lead, got the princess, didn't try to do a reverse, got the coordinates, got everything important earlier, but unfortunately wasn't able to get level 15 in time like Cirno did. And that first dive just did not go his way. But Cirno does make it through and gets the very important win in this group.
Yeah, I would say that when you pointed out that DB2 was not fighting anymore, whereas Cirno was, I think that that's really the biggest pivot point that I can look at in this one, in terms of, because if DB2 gets the XP along the way. Like for example, that Armored Knight that he passed up could have been a different story. He could have been 15 on the way down and won on the first dive.
Yeah, and you understand it because I mean, I don't know what experience he decided, but he was fighting a couple of things here and there. I think it's just how much buffer do you want to get when you have the mercy rule and things like that in place. It really pushes runners, I think, to think that they cannot take any buffer anymore because everyone will go at the absolute earliest. And as I mentioned last year, when the mercy rule or the automatic fourth attempt run success was added in, I thought a lot more people were dying in Sharlock than they were before because everyone pushed it at the absolute limit. So it's hard to say because I still don't think the meta has fully settled yet on this. And Diabetes, if he had the dive that Cirno did, and again, Cirno had a slightly higher agility, so it's hard to say, but Cirno did have an easier dive than Diabetes on his first go dive, and that definitely helped.
Yeah, for sure. And there's no Diabetes made the choice that he made. You got to play to win. You're playing in the tournament. People are very good. And so he is just, like you said, even with all of that, where he was going to get the level on the spike, he was still in great position to win at the end there, if not for really the last 1/4 of the bottom floor of Sharlock. Like, if that was different, even just that alone, I think he's in great shape.
And after all of that, if the Dragon Lord luck had been inverse, he might have been able to ride it out to get the win. It was just min roll after min roll, and when you were already in the hole, you really can't deal with that.
And he made the best. He tried the hurt mores early on, give himself the best chance to not waste as much time as possible, and still just wasn't in the cards.
But he is. He's going to try to finish this out. Diabetes pretty much will always finish out the seeds. And I would obviously try to do this too, because you have a little bit of redemption to get here.
And coming in with all those resources has to be in great shape.
Oh, we see a 49 there. Again, big hits, awful heal more. Oh my gosh.
Having 90 is tough. There's another potential bad heal more here, and it is.
And he's going to use it again. He does have a little bit of buffer this time because he came in at 15 with the extra heal more and the extra attack already built in.
Even on this one, getting worse heal more RNG, but still a safe attack here at 51. Well, I don't have a good idea about the count here, but like Aaron said, he's oh my gosh. Well, gonna waste another heal more here, but he came in with 15, and I think that he should be still in pretty good shape.
Yeah, and that was an 86 roll. The range for heal more is 85 to 100.
And there it is. Get your GGs in chat for DB2. We'll see if he's interested in coming in and talking to us or not after this. But a very great race from both racers, and just unfortunate there at the end for DB2 in that last stretch on that first dive.
Yeah, GG's out for Diabetes. Great race. Just, I mean, the most obvious difference we would say is that he dove at 14 and Cirno dove at 15, but he did not have the best Sharlock either, and a lot of things just conspired against him on that dive. But overall, this was an extraordinarily even race. It couldn't really tell because things were bouncing back and forth a lot. But, ultimately, Diabetes got in a few minutes before Cirno, and that was and could have been enough. Okay, seeing the Dragon Lord's hit points, I'm not sure that could have been enough. Rolling for max hit points when he was already down, I think 2 heal mores when he got to the fight would have been extremely hard. I think even if a hurt more landed, it might not have been enough.
Yeah, he needed to just not have that awful stretch that he had of what, like 9 encounters, some of them step after step in that one region.
Yeah, he had a bit of a gap in the middle of the Sharlock, and from what I can tell, the middle of the Sharlock wasn't the worst. I mean, there was a red dragon, I think, though, so maybe that isn't true, because I think it was what, AKs on the top, reds in the middle, and AKs on the bottom again. Yeah, Chirno, that was a discussion we were having because, again, you were both going to the coordinates at the same spot or at the exact same point, like passing each other maybe 10 seconds to the staff difference. And you were still fighting things and he wasn't. And that was it's an interesting departure because it's really hard to not just go on the absolute possible earliest level when you have the mercy rule in place.
Welcome in, Diabetes. GG on the race. What's the top of your mind? What's going on?
Can you hear us now, Diabetes? And he is out. Maybe he's having the same Discord problems we were having earlier. It was very difficult for us to actually all be able to hear each other for this race because something was going on with Discord and it kept timing us out.
Hopefully we can get DB2 back in and Discord can sort out its issues. But yeah, rare to see a full max HP Dragon Lord. You know, it's not often exactly 165.
Yeah, the that's also a 1 in 16 roll. There's a lot of 1d16s that you see in this that aren't necessarily obvious. Some of them like hurt, sleep, stop, but things like heal more and DL2 breath and Dragon Lord hit points are also in the mix. So we're getting the full enemy scroll. I don't think we saw a knight this entire time. One other thing I would mention, Cirno, because you after this was an interesting decision because the moment I saw you leave Cantland and die and go back, I thought for sure you were going to rescue the princess, but you didn't, and then you walked all the way back, and I think when you did that, that's when Diabetes suddenly lurched back into first place because like I don't know what were you just like super focused on getting the Hawks check or what was in your mind there? Yeah, it's also worth noting because I imagine both of you are curious about that. You both last location the armor. Diabetes dove early and got to the 4th chest, and I don't know if it was really nice. He might have gotten armor super quick, and then if anyone did, this seed was completely in their favor.
Can you hear us, TB2? I know I had to refresh for whatever reason that fixed mine, but I doubt he can hear me right now.
Can you hear me? Is it just Hoodie? Well, feel free to talk over us whenever you do, because yeah, I don't know what else we're gonna do, but yeah, the armor is super interesting because there were so many things that would have saved time if you guys had gotten that, because probably would have pushed the golem a little bit harder and the checks were not super difficult to get in this one. It just felt like they were. Obviously, the harp underneath the 25% sleep golem was brutal, but and yeah, stop spell coming at like what 13 came super late, but the stones were just there. Token was in coal. Where were the stones again?
Stones were in the rim chest.
Rim, that's right. So you still would have had to go down there, but starting with sword, and then yeah,
Oh, I saw green. I saw green.
Yeah, Discord doing Discord things. I'm on mobile, so sorry if the audio quality is a little bit bad.
Oh,
I know.
welcome. You go ahead, Aaron.
I was going to say exactly what you said before, but GT's on the race. Tell us what your thoughts are in general or right now.
In general, I thought I played that one really well. I was really happy with all my decisions pretty much throughout. Unfortunately, I didn't get to the final chest engraved the first time through. That was a little bit of a disappointment as it turned out in the end. But I am glad that I picked that up before heading into Sherlock. But I mean, like I said, I felt pretty comfy with everything pretty much all throughout. It was definitely a feeling of like a hair on fire or pants on fire or something's on fire. See, when you've got the sword right away, you've got extra keys, and you seemingly kind of have everything you need to just jump out into the world. Survivability stats were kind of bad fairly early. Agility wasn't too great. HP wasn't great really ever, even until the end. Heal more is okay in that situation. It's a little unfortunate because you're healing like 15 HP half the time. But like I said, I think kind of all throughout I was really happy and comfortable with a lot of my decisions, and decision making is just game decided at the end that it was not meant to be.
Yeah, that was a real rough stretch of that last part of the bottom floor of Sherlock there. Unbelievably brutal. What I had a question about was you found the flute before Cirno, and your use of the flute in killing golems. Like you were at a little bit of an XP disadvantage early on, and you were able to catch up, in a number of ways. But I kind of started with the flute and the golems, and I just was wondering if you had any like insight or thoughts about like using the flute and when you feel like you can kill golems as far as like lower HP or whatever.
Yeah, the tough thing about this golem in particular is the sleep. Until we had that, it was a little bit risky, or until we had stop spell, it was a little bit risky and whatever to do that. I think as long as you're not getting one shot and you've got heal more, I mean, you can give them a go. It's not really the end of the world if it takes a bunch of resources. If whether you're talking about either the spike tiles, both of which were fairly close to home, so you weren't going to lose a lot of like map position or anything there. I was fighting, I think, maybe a couple on the overworld that I took out. I'm not too worried about that for the most part. Again, unless I'm really far away and I desperately need to maintain my map position or something. I'm a big fan of taking them out when you can, as long as you have the attack power to not make it like a 12 swing fight or something.
Sure. From Artorius in chat, wants to know about the golem fight that was a little bit dicey just outside Cantlin when you hadn't found Cantlin. Like you knew it was Cantlin, but you hadn't been in there yet. He wanted me to ask about that.
Yeah, that was one where I forgot that I had seen the sleep earlier and didn't really factor it in, because I definitely should have just fluted it and ran away and saw gone into Cantlin, get the coordinates, go from there. Because again, you already know that golems run both spike tiles, so it's not like you're going to have a shortage of them later on. So that was really just me forgetting that they had it because I hadn't seen one in a while. So definitely that was one of the decisions I would say wasn't a good decision. But I think other than that, everything else I felt pretty happy with.
I had one other thing I brought up during the first dive. There was, did you have any thought of maybe checking for the fighter's ring in Sherlock?
Not really. I think that the stats were already good enough to win there at whatever level that was, 14. I wanted 15 on the way because I was only like 700 away. I figured I was going to burn a little bit of resources on the way down anyway, make it a little bit safer. That's the tough thing when you have no silver shield, a max of 97 hit points. One, it's hard to grind or dive and grind, but it's also a little bit risky, as we saw against my Dragon Lord fight at 15 with an extra hit point. I still had to double heal more multiple times. So I didn't think that the fighter's ring was going to make that much of a difference there. I was kind of counting on the level to be what the difference was. I was hoping it was just going to be a bunch of HP, but obviously it was not that. It was enough strength that it still made the fight viable, even with all the brutalization I got on the bottom floor, where I think I burned like 4 herbs, a heal more. It just did not go well there on that bottom floor on that last like 30 tile stretch.
Yeah, sometimes it seems like the game just wants to maximize the pain and just kind of bleed you along into a situation where it just doesn't feel like it's going to work out. It felt like that a little bit today.
Yeah, the thing is, it's still possible. I mean, the odds weren't great, obviously, going in at 12 heal mores and then having to use one against DL1. But with the ambush and 2 min rolls in the first 3 or 4 swings or whatever it was, it's like, this is obviously not going to happen. I'll throw some hurt mores. I'm just going to say, I'm not going to win the fight. Just save the time of going through the whole fight and doing like 120 damage where you have no chance to win anyway. If you land a hurt more luckily, then maybe you were able to get through. But that pretty much decided it right there. It was a little frustrating because it's like, either if I pick up a couple of golems and go in at the higher level, that also gave you an extra heal more, which would have been nice. So that is definitely something to consider, I guess. It would have been a very fast grind to get 2 more golems to get that level up, but it just felt like at the moment you had to go, especially with the armor in the bottom of the grave. I felt like at the moment this would be done if the armor were in Charlock, because I definitely see this as a situation where why would you dive grave really almost at any point unless you were kind of forced into it. And it felt like the opportunity for with Charlock being so close to home, go and do that first if you don't have the armor and you think the armor might be in Charlock. So it kind of felt like I was sort of making a weird meta play, but I'm not sure if it was the right decision or not. But it worked out, as it turned out, to check that last chest. So
yeah, it would be an interesting thing to try to really dig into, like time aspect and stuff on that decision. You would think, well, Charlock has a lot more chest, but you can also repel most of everything through grave and not take a whole bunch of damage. And the upside for it being outside of Charlock is so high that it's, I don't know. I'd said that I thought I would have done the exact same thing, especially with it right there. It's and it is one thing that was interesting about the race is that neither of you did get the armor early. It was the last thing for both of you. So that is something that if that was not the case, this race could have been very lopsided, I think.
yeah, for sure. Especially with as much swamp as there was, we're relying on heal more. The HP was bad. You're kind of constantly having to like chip heal with herbs and heal mores when you really don't want to. Having the armor would have made a huge difference. I mean, if you're like me, I think I had leather. I had leather armor until the very end. So even a moderate upgrade. That's probably the other thing that would have pushed me to not doing a Charlock dive and checking grave first. Is I really didn't have a lot of defense to work with. So going in with like 55 defense, you're committing basically to a double dive unless you get a level that's super free, which maybe 15 is for a single dive, even with leather armor, but it definitely would not have felt good. I'm a big fan of the single dive, pick up armor and go, but well, it turned out it didn't matter because that wasn't the case here, but still.
Yeah, we saw you on a couple of occasions check shops with plenty of money and not buy armor upgrades. Is that something you were actually thinking about, or were you just like, I don't care about the armor right now?
I was kind of convinced that the armor was on the overworld, to be honest. I mean, we had the curse belt knowledge pretty early. So I was sort of convinced that the armor was going to be, well, once there was going to be one of the 2 search tiles, that it wasn't going to be Death Necklace for some reason. I had convinced myself of that, even though it was still a possibility. So I was really like constantly looking for just like a large shield. But even a half plate would have been an acceptable upgrade. I'm not too worried about like 6 defense with chainmail or something, but an extra 12 defense from half plate would have been a pretty reasonable upgrade if I had really noticed it, but my eyes were like laser focused on large shield.
Yeah, that does make sense. So, yeah, because I sometimes, we're watching these races and we get thoughts in my head, and every time I race, I get, the blinders on and I miss something because I'm so focused on things that it's the trap I think we have as racers is that do you, if you are hyper focused and you're doing everything real quickly, getting to stuff like you kind of have to on a one-on-one, but then there's a possibility that maybe something eludes you, and then if you're trying out everything, you're going to get beat by the person who has the line.
Oh, definitely. And especially in a race like this, when you're facing an opponent like Cirno, I mean, Cirno is about as good as an opponent that you're going to get in one of these group stages. So when you're a top seed and second seed matchup, that's literally, I mean, that's theoretically the best matchup or the closest matchup. And it's funny, I didn't notice it until like right before we started. For race time points in the category, we are actually only 1 point apart, which is kind of remarkable heading into this race. So it was supposed to be a good race on paper. I think that it was. The other thing, I just thought of this. The other thing that did come to mind, Aaron, I'm sure you were very disappointed when I got the coordinates, and it's like I'm already pretty deep into the southwest here. Should I try some sort of reverse count? I know that the castle is right up against the top of the map. I just felt like I wasn't far enough to answer that question because I'm sure that invariably it could have come up. I didn't know where the bottom of the map was. I hadn't gone that far south yet, so I didn't want to be trying to reverse from a bottom of the map that I hadn't actually seen. And I figured as well, I hadn't checked Hawksness yet either. I'd rather walk up in the direction of Garenham after doing the turn-ins if, what I suspect is there is there.
Yeah, that was, you would be very vindicated in your decision there regardless, because Cirno attempted a reverse and he could not find the bottom of the map. It looked like it was completely inaccessible across the entire continent. So so he actually was probably slightly ahead of you if he was able to do the reverse count, but since he wasn't, that kind of swung it fully back into your favor. And that's kind of just it. So that stuff, the advanced tech, the sometimes silly things that we do doesn't always work, and putting a lot of effort into it, especially in a one-on-one, doesn't always benefit either. That's the saying is people lose more time being fancy on account than they gain on average.
Yeah, and I knew that it had to be fairly close to the western edge of the map because we had, we weren't like right up in the northeast corner. I knew we were fairly close to it, but I didn't count that portion. And when you're going on a true hard single count, I mean, you got one coordinate to get right. And if you get that coordinate wrong, you're just blindly searching the map. And there's a lot of tiles on a 120 by 120 map, even if you have a vague idea of where it might be. So I just didn't even want to chance it. So I think it was the right idea in the moment. Because like I said, that also gave me a chance to check Hawksness, and that way I would know exactly what was going to be on, or at least what wasn't going to be on the map, if I could do the turn-ins right away or not. So I think it was the right decision in the moment. But like I said, when you're facing an opponent like Cirno, you got to do everything right, and the game's got to cooperate. I mostly, I think, did the things right. Just game didn't cooperate quite so much at the end. But GG to Cirno, very, very impressive. Good start for him. Not as good of a start for me, but we got 4 more races in this group, so I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, plenty of races to go yet. Good for Cirno. I think if he had fallen to 2-2 here, it would put him in a bit of a tight situation. Completely controls his destiny here on the way out. I think if he manages to win, he might actually not guaranteed to clinch the top spot, but I think it would put him in good shape to at least be in maybe a race for it.
Yeah, it's a little tough in these 6-player groups when you've only got 5 races. One loss kind of takes you out of the running for the most part. But even again, we're not totally precluded at even like a 2 and a 3 for there to be a multi-person tie. So hopefully neither of us are in that situation. But yeah, so at least getting to 3 wins and hopefully 4 for I think each of us, we'd both be pretty happy with that.
All right. When is your next race?
TBD. Nothing on the schedule as of yet for me, so we will let you know.
All right. I believe we have one more race left tonight, and I don't think we have it on anything. I don't have the thing up, but I believe it is Beta Kappa Omega Gamma Delta Epsilon Strep versus Ryguy. And I think that's at 9 o'clock. Is that correct?
I believe that that's correct. And no, there wasn't a official restream, at least on the docket so far. It's only 20 minutes away. It'd be a little bit tough to get a crew together, but anytime we have these races this close together, you never know when you're going to get one of those nightmare seeds that takes 2.5 hours. So I didn't want to upset anybody by putting 2 on the schedule tonight.
Yeah, makes sense. So, do you have any thoughts? And I guess Hoodie as well. We've been talking a lot.
No, that's all good. Yeah, my thoughts are it was a great race. Just the RNG is going to do what it does, and but very well done by both, and a lot of interesting things to watch. Just had a good time. Thanks for being a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully we put on a good show. It sounds like we did. GG again to Cirno. Thanks again to the cast and crew as always. So we wouldn't be able to put on these broadcasts without you. So thanks everyone for volunteering your time. Hopefully we can get some more volunteers to cover some more restreams. If you know how to turn on a computer and stream, if you know how to talk, and if you know how to push some buttons, you might be able to help us out as well. So take a look at the DWR Discord, see if you can fill in on any of the races that we have upcoming. Tomorrow's a big day. There's a lot of races. So we'll see if we can get some restreams together for those. But thanks again, everybody. And yeah.
All right, then. So go ahead and lead us out here. I do want to say special thanks to Shahali for the tracking and Tanuki Monster for the restream. And of course, Hoodie Two Shoes for the lovely co-commentary. I've been Aaron to you too. I do not know who we're going to raid. If no one has anything, I will just type something random into the chat here in just a moment. But also consider we might get a red slime zone for the 9 p.m. So keep an eye out if you're in the Discord. That is the best place to find it. But thank you all very much and have a great night.